The Public Protector, Bosasa Mkhwebane's legal team, has filed a record of the evidence she relied on for her report on President Cyril Ramaphosa's campaign funding. This included specific reference to a 500,000 rand donation from Bosasa CEO Gavin Watson. The evidence is not currently available to the public. We are joined now on the line by our editorial contributor, Karen Morn. Now, Karen, you've spent the better part of this morning, in Pretoria. Won't you give us an update on exactly what transpired this morning? And the big issue at hand, and that was being asked of the Public Protector, is where exactly did she get the evidence that she used to compile her report?
Well, at this point, we certainly don't have, concrete answers on that issue. The Public Protector was required under law to provide what's called a Rule 53 record, which is essentially all the information that she relied on in order to make her adverse findings against President Cyril Ramaphosa in regard to that CR17 report, because he's challenging its legality and rationality, and part of that kind of legal challenge requires an interrogation of the so-called record that led her to make the decisions that she did. Now, on Friday, President Ramaphosa's lawyers wrote a letter to the DJP, Deputy Judge President Aubrey Ledwaba, essentially suggesting that significant chunks of that record, bank statements, emails, etc., may have been unlawfully obtained. And they also said they wanted information related to the identity of donors kept confidential as well, pending a determination over these issues of how this evidence was obtained, etc. So at this point, there is no court order in place that stops or blocks the release of the Rule 53 record. What has now happened is that the Deputy Judge President has said, pending a determination or a resolution of these issues raised by the President, which will be thrashed out in what will probably be quite a potentially explosive meeting between the Public Protector, lawyers for the Public Protector and the President tomorrow in court, that record be kept in his office, which effectively amounts to it being sealed. It's not publicly available. We as journalists attempted to obtain it. We are not able to. And hopefully by tomorrow, we'll have greater sense as to whether that request by the President's lawyers is going to be granted, or whether this evidence, parts of which appear to have already been leaked to the media, will finally be open to the public.
The big question here, Karen, has been how this evidence was actually acquired, whether it was acquired legally or not. Do you have any idea of whether this information is included in what was handed in today, how this evidence was acquired by the Public Protector and her team?
Well, my understanding is that the Public Protector has written a letter to President Cyril Ramaphosa's lawyers expressing a great deal of disquiet over the very serious allegations that have been leveled against her about how this evidence has been obtained. Of course, and very much, her office last week saying that her investigation was completely above board. So she's very much sticking to her guns and denying any kind of averment that she has done anything wrong. The President, of course, making those his lawyers making those kind of allegations in the light of ABSA and Standard Bank both saying that they were not issued with subpoenas to provide the bank statements in question. And as a consequence, the President saying they had disquiet over how those statements were obtained. I've spoken to people inside the office who maintain that some of that information was made available through the Financial Intelligence Center. We don't at this point know what was said, what has been said by the Public Protector's lawyers to the President's lawyers, but certainly on record, she has reinstated or re-emphasized that she has done absolutely nothing wrong. The situation is very, very potentially explosive because, as we've seen, the President has largely avoided making any kind of casting any kind of aspersions on the person of the Public Protector, in contrast to some of the allegations leveled against her by, for instance, Minister Pravin Gordhan. But these allegations of unlawful or potential unlawful access to information are the most serious allegations that the President has made against her, and I think that they themselves are going to form the subject of quite a heated, potentially legal, but certainly political debate as well.
And what are the next anticipated steps regarding the issue between the Public Protector and the President and the filing of these documents today?
Well, the DJP and the lawyers for the president and the public protector are due to meet tomorrow, and I think this issue is going to be thrashed out. There should be some kind of determination made, but it is, the DJP will also be very well aware that, a number of media houses have indicated that they may potentially bring applications for access to that information on a public interest basis. We, of course, have already seen what appears to be information linked to the CR17 campaign. We don't know whether or not that forms part of the public protector's record, already being leaked in the media, emails, and bank statements over the weekend. We don't know how much more of this evidence is currently in the possession of the public protector, whether that evidence was part of her record or not. And it certainly is incredibly important in the interest of transparency that the court makes a determination that is fair to all the parties involved in this litigation, but ultimately serves the public interest in terms of what the public is entitled to know with regards to this campaign and with regards to how the president conducted it. So the Deputy Judge President certainly walking a very fine legal and arguably political line, and he will really have to apply his might when he makes these decisions.
Thank you so much. That is our editorial contributor there, Karen Moore, on the latest regarding the public protector as well as the funding of the CR17 campaign.